Imagine this, a brand new passenger jet, developed in China, is about to fly in a country that's not even China. And it might be the first place in the world outside China to officially approve it. That's right. Vietnam is reportedly considering issuing an airworthiness certificate for the COMAC C919, despite years of resistance from the United States and Europe. Now, this raises a huge question. Why is Vietnam opening its doors to the C919 while aviation giants like Boeing and Airbus are still hesitant? Think of it like a high-stakes chess game. The United States and Europe hold decades of influence, controlling certifications, standards, and access to the skies. For them, letting a new player in, especially one made outside their traditional systems, feels risky. Vietnam, on the other hand, is willing to take a calculated leap. We're going to explore why this matters. We'll trace the rise of the C919, look at its technical achievements, examine how it's disrupting the global aviation market, and uncover the strategic calculations behind countries like Vietnam taking bold steps. By the end, you'll understand why this isn't just about one plane. It's about how a single aircraft could quietly reshape the balance of power in global aviation. For the past 50 years, the world of commercial aviation has basically been a two-player game. On one side, there's Boeing, the iconic American manufacturer with its 737 family and decades of industry trust. On the other, Airbus, Europe's aviation powerhouse, dominating with its A320 family and global network of airlines. These two giants haven't just sold planes, they've built empires. Their certifications are trusted worldwide, their supply chains are finely tuned, and airlines have relied on them for generations. If a new aircraft wants to compete, it's not just about building a jet. It's about stepping into an arena that's been controlled for decades. For newcomers, the barriers are enormous. Developing a large passenger aircraft requires billions in investment, thousands of engineers, and years of testing. Certification hurdles are brutal. Even small technical questions can delay a plane for years. And airlines don't just want a plane that flies. They want proven reliability, safety, and support networks. This is why the C919's emergence is so remarkable. It's not just a new plane. It's a challenger entering a duopoly that has seemed untouchable. For Boeing and Airbus, the C919 represents more than competition. It's a signal that the status quo may be quietly shifting. When the COMAC C919 finally took to the skies, many outside China barely noticed. After all, it was a rookie in a field dominated by decades of experience. But what happened next quickly turned heads. Within just 5 months of entering service, the C919 had already crossed 1,000 orders, and by 2024, that number exceeded 1,500. In just over a year of commercial operation, it logged 20,000 flight hours, carried more than 700,000 passengers, and completed over 4,700 flights safely. For a brand new aircraft, these numbers are staggering, like a rookie athlete stepping onto the world stage and outperforming seasoned champions in their first season. This rapid adoption didn't happen by chance. Years of research and development, careful international collaboration, and rigorous testing ensured that the C919 could stand on its own. Airlines started noticing that despite being new, the plane delivered reliable performance, efficiency, and safety. Yet despite these achievements, the C919 still faced a major hurdle: regulatory recognition. Without the right certifications from Western authorities, it couldn't freely fly into the United States or European markets. So while the plane was proving itself in flight hours and orders, the path to full global acceptance remained a strategic puzzle, one that Vietnam's recent move is now helping to unlock. Here's where things get really interesting. In aviation, a plane isn't truly global until it has an airworthiness certificate. Think of it like a passport. Without it, no matter how good your plane is, you can't legally enter most international skies. Two organizations dominate this system, the FAA in the United States and EASA in Europe. Together, their certifications cover over 50% of global commercial flights. That means if the C919 wants to operate widely, it needs approval from these authorities. But here's the catch. Both have been skeptical about the C919 for years. Why? Partly because it doesn't use widely recognized Western engines and components. Partly because, historically, they've been cautious about aircraft coming from outside their usual networks. The result: repeated delays, lengthy reviews, and strict scrutiny. Some might even say it's a way of pressing pause on China's entry into Western markets. This creates a stark contrast. On one hand, the plane is performing safely and efficiently in real-world operations. On the other, regulatory bottlenecks prevent it from reaching its full international potential. And that's exactly what makes Vietnam's decision so striking. By stepping in to potentially approve the C919, Vietnam isn't just giving it a certificate. It's opening a door that Western regulators have long kept closed. It's a bold move that changes the dynamics of how the plane can expand internationally. Vietnam's decision to lift regulatory barriers for the COMAC C919 is more than just a bureaucratic move. It's a strategic masterstroke. In early 2025, Vietnam not only considered granting the C919 a flight permit, but also arranged high-level meetings with COMAC leadership in Hanoi to discuss technical capabilities and operational performance. Why would Vietnam take this bold step, seemingly against the grain of US and European positions? Well, the answer lies in economics and necessity. Vietnam's aviation sector has faced serious challenges: grounded Boeing aircraft due to engine recalls, delayed deliveries from major manufacturers, and the growing demand from a tourism-driven economy. Simply put, the country needed reliable planes, fast. Think of Vietnam's move like a small village breaking through the city walls. By approving the C919, Vietnam isn't trying to challenge Boeing or Airbus head-on. It's creating a foothold, a beachhead in the global aviation market. Success here could encourage other Southeast Asian and developing countries to explore Chinese-made aircraft, reshaping the regional aviation landscape. This leap shows that regulatory decisions are not just about safety. They're deeply tied to economic strategy, supply needs, and regional positioning. Vietnam is betting that practical benefits outweigh political optics, and in doing so, it may become the first to prove the C919's global viability outside China. Vietnam's bold move isn't just about strategy, it's about necessity. Since 2023, the country's aviation sector has been facing a serious crunch. Out of 249 civil aircraft in Vietnam, 33 Boeing planes were grounded due to engine recalls from Pratt & Whitney, leaving airlines scrambling for capacity. At the same time, production delays at Boeing, caused by strikes and global supply chain issues, pushed back the delivery of new aircraft until after 2030. For a country heavily reliant on tourism, this shortage isn't minor. It's a direct hit to the economy. Fewer planes mean fewer passengers, fewer flights, and slower growth. Yet, paradoxically, Vietnam Airlines is thriving financially. Reports show record revenues and a 179% stock surge in 2024, surpassing regional competitors like Singapore Airlines and Air China. Here's the problem. The airline is booming, but its fleet can't keep up. Enter the COMAC C919. With proven safety, reliable performance, and immediate availability, the C919 is a practical solution to bridge this gap. Vietnam's decision isn't just political, it's a calculated response to operational and economic pressures. By acting now, Vietnam can secure aircraft to meet urgent demand, maintain its tourism momentum, and stabilize airline operations. In this context, the C919 isn't just a competitor on paper. It's a lifeline for a growing aviation market. One of the biggest concerns about any new aircraft is whether it can actually be delivered on time. Early on, the COMAC C919 faced slow production, with delivery schedules stretching out and causing skepticism in international markets. But that's changing fast. COMAC has now ramped up mass production. In 2025, it's projected to produce 30 C919s, and over the next few years, annual output could reach 100 or more. This means that Vietnam and other potential buyers can realistically expect planes without waiting for years, solving immediate capacity shortages. Looking ahead, COMAC isn't stopping at the C919. The company is developing the C929 and C939, which are larger and more advanced models designed for international markets. Once these planes enter service, they will expand production lines, reduce pressure on C919 orders, and offer airlines more options in terms of size, range, and passenger capacity. Vietnam's timing is crucial. By entering now, it can secure the C919 to meet urgent needs while positioning itself to access the next generation of Chinese aircraft in the coming years. This isn't just about filling gaps. It's about joining a growing aviation ecosystem that may influence regional and global market trends. Vietnam's potential approval of the COMAC C919 is more than a single-country story. It signals a shift in the global aviation landscape. For decades, Boeing and Airbus have effectively controlled the market. Their dominance was built on decades of trust, extensive service networks, and the power of their certifications. Now, the C919 is challenging that duopoly. Technically, it matches or exceeds expectations in efficiency, safety, and performance. Economically, it offers competitive pricing that can attract airlines looking to optimize costs. Vietnam's decision to embrace the aircraft could create a demonstration effect across Southeast Asia and other developing markets. If a country successfully integrates C919 into its fleet, others may follow, gradually eroding the dominance of Boeing and Airbus. This doesn't mean the duopoly will disappear overnight. Certification, after-sales support, and brand trust still favor Western manufacturers. But the trend is clear. The aviation market is becoming more multipolar. What started as a rookie aircraft in China is now part of a potential global shift. For viewers, the takeaway is powerful. Today it's a handful of planes in Vietnam. Tomorrow it could be dozens or hundreds across Asia and beyond. The real story isn't just about C919's technical success. It's about how countries and airlines are rethinking the balance of power in global aviation.